interesting, yet a little challenging week. Had the flu bug literally run rampant through our program, so it's altered a few things in terms of the preparation and practice, but that's okay. It's part of it, and got an Iowa basketball team that comes in and with a young man, Tyler Cook, who I think is one of the best players in our league. He's outstanding, and a team that is, when I look at them statistically, they're good. I mean, there's not an area that they just pop out and say, wow. They throw a lot of different defenses at you. They're a team that is, will press us a little bit. They have tremendous size and length, probably as big as any team in our league, especially on the perimeter. And then they've got a young man in Bohannon at the point that does a great job of getting them into it. They're a little different. They're not a real big set team. They run a lot of motion, so they test your principles, and you know, that's something that we got to be very solid in tomorrow. And they're a very, very good offensive rebounding team. They try to play inside out, and they're very much like us in terms of they want to play fast. They'll pitch it ahead. They'll shoot it quick, and I think they average 80, right around 80 a game. So they're a team that's struggled a little bit, but very, very good nonetheless.
So Brad, who's the flu bug affected your team, and do you expect it to have any effect on your team tomorrow?
Well, it hasn't affected me. Everybody else is, knock on wood, everybody else has had some, from our secretary to Fletch to, and we've had a wide spectrum of guys out, literally since Minnesota, and you know, Allstorp was thrown up before the Michigan game and tried to play, and so we've had to run through basically our whole team.
Hey Brad, in the back, what is the dynamics of two teams that are both really wanting a first Big Ten win? What is the locker room dynamic, do you suppose, for you guys and maybe for them?
I have no idea what it is for them. I wouldn't, you know, I think that you got two teams. I think it's conference play. We've had an opportunity in each one of our 4 games. They've had an opportunity in a lot. In their last Maryland game, they had an opportunity. Led for a big chunk of that game. I think we're both looking for consistency. I think I think the one thing that in our case, I think we all want to win. I think that our locker room has a bunch of guys in it that want to win. I just don't know yet if we expect to win, and there's a big difference. And expectation is swagger, it's confidence. Maybe both are lacking. I don't want to speak for them. I don't. But I think the one thing that is it's conference play, no matter what league you're in, at what level. Nothing is given. Everything is earned, and you got to go get it. You got to go take it. And we've proven that we can play with anybody, anywhere. And I say anywhere because we've hardly been at home. And but it's something that we got to go take. No one's giving us anything.
Brad, your 3-point percentage around 32% this year. How shocked are you at that, given the makeup of your team, and what do you think the issues are there?
It's hard to say. I like our shots. I like the shots we're getting. I like the shots we got in Minnesota. Yeah, and yet we were 1 for 19. You know, you just can't. Offense is like music. It's got a rhythm. It's got a flow. You got to have confidence in it. You got to know where shots are coming and those opportunities, and you know, we've done a tremendous amount of shooting. We've had games where we've shot the cover off of it. You know, I don't. If I can control whether the ball goes in or not, I can write the book and have all the answers, but we don't. So the process is we better guard, the process is we better offensive rebound, and then the other process is, part of our process, is we better not turn the ball over, which, you know, there's this, you know, we've got a stat that we do, and you guys know I'm into numbers, and I mean, we're scoring or drawing a foul 66% of the time in the half court in our spread offense. Problem is, some of those, when we're not, we're turning it over. And those become live ball turnovers, and they're simply passing and catching things. And you know, we had 3 or 4 first cutter layups in the Michigan game. We just simply threw the ball out of bounds. That's passing and catching, and that's the single biggest fundamental thing. And we worked on it a lot. So we'll make shots. I don't worry about that. I mean, we got guys who can make shots, but at some point, you know, guys got to become makers instead of shooters.
Coach, against Michigan, Trent Frazier had 5 turnovers. How have you or the rest of the coaching staff in general tried to help him with his ball handling and his decision making?
Yeah, it's more the decision making. Everything's the first time for Trent, and I think the one thing that you know, every time we run a ball screen, he's seeing a different coverage, he's seeing a different size, and you know, Trent's been pretty good throughout his last 5 or 6 games, but I don't know, maybe it was injecting him in the starting lineup that caused that. But you know, when you get 5 from him and you get 6 from Mark Smith and a few more from Tijon, and those are your guys handling the ball. Those are things that we can show them on film, and yet once the speed of the game happens and the size of the other team happens and the coverage that they have, you know, we've got to grow in those areas, and you know, that's why experience is invaluable. You know, you start seeing coverages from the opposite low corner or traps or whatever. When it's the first time, sometimes it throws you off a little bit, and you know, those are the adjustments that we have to continually make. You know, with this group when they haven't seen it before. So I expect Trent to be fine. He's the one guy that's got tremendous confidence, and he's got a pretty high IQ, and he understands things, but again, night in, night out, we're not going to win when we get 13 or 14 turnovers from our guards.
I know it's only been 1 game, but how do you feel like Tijon's adjusting to his new role off the bench?
Oh, I have no idea. It's great. He played good the other night. Played good. Like I said, you guys put way too much emphasis on who starts and who comes off the bench. That's the most irrelevant thing, to me. He was great. He played the same amount of minutes, and he's pretty close to where he's been playing. And I thought he was a settling factor, and he guarded. That's not been our problem. Consistency has been our problem, and doing it for 40 minutes.
Greg had maybe one of his better weeks of the season, just those 2 games together. Has
Okay. That was a good observation.
That's what I'm here for now. But has it carried over this week? I mean, do you just maybe see him? He said he feels more confident. Do you see him being more confident?
Well, if you guys will remember, we couldn't hardly put Greg in a game because he would have set a world record for the most fouls per second, not minute, early. And yeah, there's tremendous comfort in what Greg's doing, and his athleticism was so evident in the Michigan game. There's 2 plays he made in the Michigan game. He fell down. He made a heck of a recovery and helped a guy on a back cut because of his athleticism. He got beat, fell down, got up, sprinted to the other end of the court, and grabbed the rebound. And it was a big time play. And then just his blocks. I mean, he's guarding Rahman, who's a senior off guard, drives the ball on him and goes up and blocks it. A month ago, 6 weeks ago, he would have fouled him on the first dribble and tried to put him in a headlock. So Greg's maturity, his understanding has been tremendous, and then he does a great job of rim running. He's doing what he can do offensively, and his speed getting to the rim. it's pretty easy to go 9 for 10 when they're all dunks. And so I've been really pleased with him, and his comprehension and his understanding of what we're doing is really improved.
Piggybacking off that, Brad, given that it's only 2 games and given where he was about a month ago, what is your hope expectation for him in these games coming up? What he can give you?
Well, we need his shot blocking. It was nice to have a guy who could protect the rim and cover up a few things. And his athleticism allows us to be more aggressive on the defensive side on the perimeter. The first half against Michigan, guys, we were good defensively. Now we were good, and we had a stretch that Kipper tried to jackknife a layup that Wagner chased down and led to a dunk at their end, and then I think right after that, Tijon missed the front end. We don't have that stretch there and those little momentum swings. I mean, that's an 8-10 point game at halftime, and Michigan's really good. Michigan's a good basketball team. So defensively, I was pleased. Greg can do a lot of things to help cover up that, and then when you rim run like he does off ball screens, you have to account for that. Everybody that we're getting ready to play has to account for Greg sprinting to the front of the rim as fast as he does. If he catches it, he's going to dunk it. And so now you've got to account. Maybe that'll make it easier for 3-point shooters to make shots. So the game's about spacing on offense, and Greg helps us on the offensive end because he sets great screens, and then he's so fast he just sprints to the rim.
Right back here in the back, you talked about DeMonte's a factor, and I get that. Is that something that's learned? Is that inherited? Is that a combination of both? And what's his ceiling? You're born with it. You grow up with it. You hone it in by playing. You have a natural instinct that it will continue to grow. There's no doubt. There's no limit on it. Why is Trae Young so good at Oklahoma? Trae Young's got it. He makes everybody else better. He throws the right pass. He does, DeMonte does those things in a different way, but he's always in the right spot. And those things are innate, but they're also worked on, and they grow because of experience. And then you become more athletic, you become stronger, you become quicker. All those things enhance that, and then you get tremendous confidence. And I've said it many times with DeMonte. He didn't play last year. To be that young and doing what he's doing, basically didn't shoot a ball for a year, and so you're going to see some inconsistencies in his shooting and that part of it. But for a 17-year-old kid to come in and have the impact he's had on our team, sitting out of here, I'm really impressed with.
Coach, you get 17-7 from Kipper, first time he played 20+ minutes since UNLV. Was that a breakthrough for him, and what's his process in terms of obtaining some consistency?
Great game for him. Kipper's problems aren't on the offensive end, majority of them. Now I say that he was 0 for at Minnesota. It's the one thing that we're trying to limit his mistakes on the defensive side and keep him dialed in. His minutes, will probably coincide with that. Do we need him? Absolutely. But he took great shots, other than his jackknife layup in a breakaway situation, which we've replayed for him about 50 times. That's come fly with me. When you get that, you got to go dunk that ball. And instead he hits the bottom of the backboard, and it's a dunk at the other end. And those are the things that frustrate me with Kipper. And I love him to death, but you got to go finish those plays. And then on the defensive end, just simple rotations that he doesn't make that stress our defense. And that's been our team's
one of our team's biggest challenges is consistency on the defensive end. Make teams score through us, and not because we make mistakes. Michigan made one simple change. Same play, same action, they ran the whole first half. They just put a different guy in it. And they ran it 3 times in the first half. LaRon guarded it right the entire first half. LaRon didn't guard it right, or Kipper, not one time in the second half. And that's just being very truthful, that we've showed them on film. And so that led to Wagner getting going and Duncan Robinson getting going, and now they're swinging the ball. And those are the consistent things that we're trying to become, and we've got to eliminate those. So I hope it's a breakthrough for Kipper. He should feel good about the way he played, and our team needs it.
Coach, when you talk about Iowa being up tempo, is that a team you'd like to play? Does your system work better against a team that wants to go with you and wants to play up tempo with you? Is that a team you prefer to play an up tempo team?
We're going to find out. I think the one thing that they do is they do a great job of pitching the ball ahead. I think that Fran's done an incredible job there. Finished in the top half of the league the last 5 or 6 years, and last year was that team continued to get better and better and better. They're always skilled. They can always shoot it. And I've enjoyed watching them play because they're deep. I mean, they're playing 10, 11 guys, Garza stepping in can step out and shoot threes, and his length, and they do it with around Tyler Cook, and Tyler's good, but you've got to have some depth to play the way they're playing, and be able to make shots, and they have all those capabilities. So we'll find out. We worked quite a good bit today on our transition defense, that's for sure.
It's great to have one of
Iowa
those.
wanting to speed up the floor like you guys. Does Trent allow you to push the pace a lot more in transition than other point guards on your team?
Yes. Trent's a blur. Trent's probably the second or third fastest guard I've been around. I was very fortunate to coach a kid named Denny Clemente at Kansas State when I was with Frank, who was absolutely the fastest kid I've seen, and then the young man I had at SFA. He's fourth. I forgot about Juwan. Juwan started for the Clippers. Juwan was extremely fast in transition as well. But yeah, there's no question. I mean, that we want to recruit that way, and we want to. We need that speed. You got to be able to put the way the game's officiated today. You got to be able to put pressure on the defense with speed, and he doesn't have tremendous physical size, but he's got tremendous speed, so that helps us.
Since Greg had one of his best weeks, where's Matisse kind of stand at this point in the season? What have you seen from him in practice? What does he still need to show you?
I think everything with Matisse is, and he had a real good week last week. He's had a solid week this week. I think the one thing that we're looking for him is a confidence that he can do it every single day. Physicality is a part of his, or lack of, is something that he's continuing to grow with and deal with. He's gotten a lot better, and he gives us a dimension because he's a great passer. We finally got him shooting the ball. He was a kid who was very reluctant when he got here to shoot, and then defensively he gets it. He's very sound. He's very solid, and right now it's kind of who and where do I go with it, and who do I put him in front of? So he's kind of in that long jam, but he's gotten a ton better, and I'm excited about his future.
For the first half against Michigan, LaRon didn't really play that well, but you guys still had the lead at the break. Is it kind of a nice feeling to know that he could kind of sputter like that, but the team can still play really well without him?
Good question. I like knowing where stuff comes from. Michigan, and he didn't, and he was really sick. So AJ, Trent, LaRon, and Fakey scratch, really don't. That's not a very comforting feeling as a coach, not knowing where it's coming from. And to get, I mean, you want to know where it's coming from. Now, I get it in his case in that game. It's very hard to sustain success and winning without that, without somebody being at the top of the scouting report, without somebody being a consistent scorer. And I get LeBron's great. LeBron's a really, really good player, and he has not been well for some time. So that showed that last week in his play. But yeah, I want balance, and I know we have guys who are capable, but you want to know. I mean, if you're Michigan, you know Matthews and Wagner and Duncan Robinson, and you can go right down the list, or Purdue or whoever, and that's what I want. And it's nice to see somebody step up when he wasn't right, but we need some consistency in terms of, I'm shocked we scored 69 points knowing those 4 didn't do much.
That all here?
I guess one other thing with Trent, just defensively, and just, this is more maybe against Michigan, but when he is really kind of being as aggressive as I think you want me, could he change things on that end for you?
You say Greg?
No, or Trent.
Oh.
Just
Yeah, Trent's a guy who can really bother people. I mean, you saw them. We had many times, and it's, Mark Allstorff's another guy that does that. I mean, you saw them stop right across half court, and just put the brakes on. They're not getting the ball into scoring areas to run offense, and that's something that we talk about a lot, and we stress, and Trent can do that. Trent's got to fight. I mean, when you're a guy of smaller stature, you've got to be a fighter, tough, and stay underneath people. And when Trent gets a little fatigued, he stops doing that. But for the most part, he can be tenacious. It's one of the reasons when I was at Stephen F, I was recruiting so hard, because I thought he could be that guy to replace the guy I lost. Just a ball hawk. And and our wings have to do a better job at denying. And that's one of the things that hurt us in the Michigan game. You get up there, it's pretty frustrating. You get up there and you start hawking the ball like Mark and Tijon and Trent do, and have wings that allow catches. It's pretty frustrating. And it's one of the things we're really trying to hone in on this week. Thanks.